Hi, hello, it's Heather here, and I am the owner of You Yarns. And so I created a yarn brand all based on color. So the idea for my yarn brand is to a product that, well, a yarn that any color you pick up pairs with any other color. So that's what I did. So these are my yarn colors, and having colors that work together is like the biggest goal of UU Yarns. So, as a graphic designer, I looked at each color. There's 25 colors here in my line of yarns, and I select each color. I need a lavender. I need a purple. I want I want the lavender to look good with the aqua. I want the navy to work with the orange. Like, everything can look good with the other color. I want a blend of blues that all work together individually. So this all started as, like, I'm a graphic designer. I've been obsessed with color. Gee, I don't know, for years. And so I thought today would be a great time. It's Uh, the first Wednesday of the well, it's the second Wednesday of the year. The first was the first Wednesday of the year. But each year, a bunch of big companies come out with like trend reports about what colors are going to be big and popular and sort of what they're seeing as far as the colors that will kind of mark this year. You know, like, if you think about the 70s, you've got the oranges and the goldenrod and the browns, and then you move into the 80s, and it was the pastels and the baby blues and Miami Vice type thing. And then we go to the 90s, and we had the power suits and the bold, that was sort of more uh like jewel tones through those 90s years mixed with like grunge. And so, each yeah, we can look at mid-century and think about those like aquas mixed with reds. And so, each year we kind of go through these phases like with color. And the the big companies now sort of announce their trend report at the end of the previous year about what they think is going to be sort of the main colors for the new year. So here we are in 2025, and sort of the biggest um, one that does it is the Pantone color system, and they do something called Color of the Year, and it's a big deal. And if you don't know what Pantone is, they make these little chip swatches. So again, as a graphic designer, back in the day, you'd have to, things were printed with four colors, and you'd have to say sort of like the four colors were cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And you'd have to say, in your file, 50% aqua, 20% magenta, and then you'd get sort of this like funky purple, or, however it would mix together. And Pantone made a way of standardizing that. And so they created these swatch books. And these were like in studio, every printing press, you could easily say, or you take your card and you say, I would like Pantone 218, please. And you get, like, take, for example, the heart in my logo. Then they would hit that. So every time your business cards got printed, every brochure, your logo heart was exactly the right shade of pink. You know, that's how, when I worked at IKEA, we had a blue and a yellow. And every time we sent files to the press, everything was labeled. Big arrows on our sheets. Pantone whatever, Pantone whatever. And if those colors weren't hit right, they'd all go back and the whole thing. So Pantone is a huge deal in the color world as far as replicating, anything printed. So they're kind of the color authority. And each year they come up with a color of the year. Pardon me. And this year is called Mocha Mousse, which is like a really rich, kind of like coffee brown. And I'm lucky enough to have a friend in the publishing industry who got to go to the Pantone party in Manhattan, and she sent me some Pantone swag. So I was so excited to get this. This is the 2025 color of the year Pantone. So you can see here, this whole notebook is in their Mocha Mousse color, and they have their number, just like I was talking about. So if you wanted to send something to press, that's the number you would talk about. So this is just a cute little notebook, and I love it. Even all the lines in the notebook are the brown color too. So not it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but they give a little sorry, I'm just getting over a cold. Um they give a little description about the color, so super fun. Subtle elegance, earthy refinement, rich warmth. Perfect. So I was just thinking about how we could relate that to yarn and our projects. And um, so if I bring up my palette again, you can see right where I'm heading. So we have wheat and our chocolate. So really great combo. So maybe those are things you want to consider when you're making a project this year. So kind of fun. They aren't exactly that, but that rich, creamy brown mocha mousse, they have a lot of great evocative soft brown. So, ooh, the delectable quality of cacao, chocolate, and coffee. I wore a little coffee shirt just for the occasion. So, um, yeah. So Pantone's color of the year is this beautiful mocha mousse color. And yeah, it kind of gives me like the wheat, those kind of creamy, so like wheat, and then you can do some vanilla in there. So those rich, creamy colors. Okay, and then I found some others that I thought were great, all on sites that we all like to use as knitters. So the other two I found, one was Etsy, and Etsy's color is a beautiful shade. I didn't get any. I don't have any Etsy swag. I'm sorry. But Etsy says their color of the year is called Lime Cream. And they call it a dreamy, delicate shade that's equal parts calming and uplifting. So this one is kind of soft and serene with, they say a little zesty and a little flirty. So lime cream. And it's they have all these like vases. I link the article down below in the description if you want to go read it and see the color. So I thought, of course, our soft sage is like the perfect example of lime cream. And I love how both of these big trend reports are showing us colors that are sort of soft and calming. So, if we take kind of mocha mousse and as a vibe and this lime cream. Like, you could do the soft sage and the wheat, both really pretty and, like, really sophisticated, kind of, like, neutral, but still with a great, um, you know, a like, a touch of color, but really just working. And like I said, that would look great with the vanilla and, I mean, anything else. Could add more green, like, how pretty is that? And it really just works with anything. Maybe you want it with a little heavier color, like a charcoal. So, there's a lot of possibilities too. So, I really love these together. But then I went to our other favorite site called Pinterest, and they have a wild, which I really love, and I've been seeing a lot of this. They said their color is cherry vibe. They call it cherry coated. Dark, sweet, and such a vibe. Cherries in your makeup and just cherry martini. So that gives us dark cherry red. So um I love how we go from like these softer tones over to a really bright, um, like they said, cherry red. And now my red poppy is a great, it's kind of looking a little strange here, but this is a really great, rich, true red. And then there's my red velvet. So these two, here, maybe this one will show up a little bit. This is the red velvet too. It's a little, sorry, my cabinet was dusty. Ah. So those are the red velvet, and they look a little plum here, but they're really like a rich. You can see how pretty those two look together. One of my favorite. And I mean, you can take that and add the wheat to it, your mocha tones. We all know red and green go great together. So if you take your red, that's your hue, and then you add a tint of it with your lighter green. So this is going back to our contrasting colors. If you have stuck around on some UU television here. So our contrasting colors are red and green because they are across from each other on the color wheel. So, if you think about paint, you never add, if you want to make green, you use blue and yellow. You don't add red to make green. So the way you think about it is there's no red in green. So that means they're maximum contrast, just like black and white. They're as far apart from each other as they kind of can be. So if we have our red, our rich ruby red cherry vibe, this is our red poppy. And then you can take the soft sage lime cream, as Etsy's calling it today, and you can tie that together. So because we've taken the pistachio and added some white, that makes it a tint of the green. So we're all in the same, we're still contrasting here, but we add a little depth and dimension. And you can even add a little pink to this and make a nice little diamond here. You can add a little pink to that, and it's such a pretty and, just such a nice combo. Heck, let's get that wheat back in here. Here we are. Like, look how pretty all that looks. So you can okay, so if we take out the brighter red and bring in that red velvet, Like, look how pretty and sophisticated all of that looks together. Those are our 3 colors of the year right across the top, and then a couple of coordinating accent colors, and there you go. That would be such a gorgeous fade with this dark, uh, red velvet as a pop. So, that is my 2025 color trend report. Uh, all with the yarns that are already always available here at UU Yarns. So, like I said, I built this palette with intention, and you can see right off the page that you can use these yarns to pick a project, like pick a project and use these yarns to make something pretty and on trend. So, if you have any questions about color or our yarns or anything else like that, then definitely you can leave me a comment or you can visit my website at uu.com, EWE. I will drop a note here in the chat. Um, and, let me know. So, that is what's going on. And okay, one last final note is we have a new knit along coming up next Wednesday called the River Mitts. Let's see. Had to get my samples. They were hiding out over there. Okay, so I found a river mitt. Ta-da! So these are called the worsted river mitts. Super pretty. Oh geez. Of course I dropped them all on the floor right as I was getting ready. Okay, so these are the worsted river mitts. Super pretty. They feature a really cool kind of like connected double cuff. So it keeps your hands nice and warm because you get this like extra layer up over, and then your fingers are still nice and available for uh texting or eating or typing if you are in a cold office, that happens. So if you want to grab your river mitts kit, these are available, the pattern and the yarns, yeah, they're dropping it again, are all available over on uu.com, and they're right at the top of the page. But I hope you had a good time talking about colors and trends. And if you have any questions about colors or what colors go together, or if you have a different color pairing for the colors this year, like, hey, Heather, will the wheat look good with, I don't know, lavender instead of soft sage? Well, yes, and they all look good uh, in any configuration. So you can always send me a message, and I'd love to see you for our River Mitts knit along. And that's what's happening here at UU Yarns. If anybody has any questions, you can drop me a comment. Otherwise, yeah, that's the fun stuff. It's 2025 somehow. That's happening. Oh, Josie, hi. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's little color trend talk, and I will see you again next week. Yeah, I'll be live on the Light from Lantern YouTube channel for our knit along kickoff, and I'll be live here too at 1 uh, Pacific and 4 Eastern again next week. So I hope to see you then. Have a great day. Happy knitting.